What's up YouTube, this is Fate, bringing you another deck profile, and today I've got a deck profile that I've been wanting to share with you for a couple formats now, my Quasar plant deck. Originally, about a format back, this was a Fireflower deck with a Flemville variation to it, but this was also back when Soul Charge was at 3, and that was a devastating blow to that build, so decided to work around with what I had. Also got some help with my buddy who I also got his plant Quasar profile up not too long ago. Took a lot of tips from that, and I've got something pretty consistent and a lot of fun here. So without further ado, let's get to the deck profile. First things first, the plant engine. We've got the triple Lonefire Blossom, Dandylion, Globe Bulb, and Spore. For the base 6 for these guys, gotta run these 6 in any type of plant Quasar build. And then for the side options, I run one Naturia Cosmobeet. I run the Solar Nutrient in here, so this guy's a lot of fun to use, especially for the free special summon on your opponent's turn. Actually does come into play quite a bit in this build. And then for those times where you can't quite get that plant combo off right off the bat, I also run one Tytannial as part of Beat Stick engine to give yourself more of a fighting option in there. Doesn't really need to go into this that often, but when you get stuck in those late games, it is a lot of help for this build. Then for the support monsters, we've got triple Mathematician. Sets up your graveyard very nicely, mainly for the Dandylion plays, and it gives you the free draw when he's killed by battle. Triple Crane gives you access to your main rank 3 monster that we'll go into in a bit. Plus most of the targets in here are level 3, so really nice utility piece. The next I run triple Spell Striker. There's a very heavy spell presence in this build, especially after you search with this guy with Rhoda. The nice thing about searching this guy with Rhoda is when Rhoda is sent to the graveyard, you have a spell in there right away you can bash for the free special summon. And in those games where your opponent somehow still survives your massive onslaught of attacks, he's a nice quick direct attacker to finish them off. And then just as an added support, just to prevent some trap card play to protect your plant combos, we run double Rose Archer. Basically the hand trap for plant decks that helps negate trap cards. That is it for the monster lineup. Onto the spells. We run triple Upstart Goblin. This is one of those type of builds that you really want to get to your main combos quickly, and although I don't run Upstart Goblin in most of any of my builds, highly needed in this build and definitely very, very welcome. And then on top of that, I run triple Super Solar Nutrient. Very helpful in getting to your other low-level plants if you don't run into your main combos. This actually especially works really well with Dandylion tokens. Mainly with the tokens because it says in the Dandylion effect, once I can find it again, that when the tokens are special summoned to the field, the tokens cannot be used for your tribute summons for the rest of the turn. That doesn't mean it can't be attributed any other ways to special summon with all those other combos. And considering how much you do get those tokens recurred back and forth on the field into the graveyard, this is a fantastic combo piece in the build. Then for the other spells, we run 2 Miracle Fertilizers, Camellias Reborn for the plant engines, 2 Reinforcement of the armies. Debated on running 3 of these at all, but it did take away from some of the other plant combos in the build, so left that at 2, and so far really good on consistency. Double MST for the pesky back row. And for the last of the 2 ofs, double Dark Hole for the field clearers. Then for the 1 ofs, I run 1 Symbol of Heritage. In my last banless reaction video, I was wondering why I hit this to 1. Then I started running this build and more understanding the Lonefire Blossom combo, and yeah, now I can understand why they kicked this down to 1, otherwise it'd be way too easy to spam plants to the field if you had 3 of these in the build. By the way, it's still fantastic at 1. 1 for 1. good to special summon out your two main components in Spore and Glow Bulb. 1 Mind Control, pretty decent amount of tuners around here. It helps steal your opponent monsters or just clears a monster from their field out of the way for you to get in that quick hit. 1 Day of Peace to help facilitate the draw power and to give you a turn of protection. 1 Soul Charge because you depend a lot on your synchro plays, and whether or not you can battle for the turn is irrelevant. More can you get your big guy out and suffocate the field presence. And then for the last 2 support spells, we've got 1 Pot of Decami. Definitely tons of different monster typings in this build. We've got Plant, Spellcaster, Winged Beast, Warrior. So very nice diversity, not including the synchro monsters even. But I ended up running this at 1 because 2 did get insanely clogging the build, and it actually did cost me a game having 2 of these stuck in your hand. And then for the one last fun tech, I run 1 Polymerization, mainly for the Dandylion tokens out there to get First of Dragons out. Yes, the tokens do count as normal monsters, so I can do that. It's just fun to hit people with this when they're not expecting it, and to get a monster against monster effect heavy decks that they don't know how to deal with. That is it to the main deck. Before we get to the extra deck, tokens. Tokens are a standard. I know, unlike in that profile at the regionals video, I don't have as cool tokens as that guy. I'm working on it. In the meantime, go Goats. Then getting to the extra deck finally, I've got 2 Melee of the Trees. A really nice helpful piece to get plants to your graveyard and to special them from your graveyard back to the field. Because of the style that I'm running with this build, this is my only rank 3 Exceeds option. I might change that in the near future here. Maybe to get a Ghost Trick Alucard in there, Zen Mains. But for now, this style, just being a little more synchro heavy, hasn't bothered me too much. So, do whatever you want with this one, but at the very least, gotta run 2 of these. And then for the other parts of the extra deck, we've got double Formula Synchron, helps with the draw engine. 1 Full-On Pulse Dragon, the other synchro tuner guy that, in case you have sort of a lopsided setup level-wise on your side of the field and you still need to go into your Quasar, this guy is very helpful at manipulating his own level to more easily facilitate that need. Then for the other general synchros, we've got Solemn Judgment himself, Herald of the Arclight. And for the level 5s, we've got Samsara, Magical Android, TG Hyper Librarian, the key piece to facilitate all those draw plays, and of course Armades. Gotta have Armades in there. He's a level 5 offensive force that is just fantastic. Then for the other level monsters, I only run 2 of them. Black Rose Dragon, good board clearer. Sometimes your opponent does set up a little too heavy and you do need to just hit that reset button. Or if you're going for game-winning moves, you do have those plant monsters in your graveyard to flip your opponent's monster from defense to attack position and zap all that attack power away, so it is hilarious and fun to use when you get that effect off. And then we've got 1 Stardust Dragon, because why not have protection? And then for the end piece of the combo, we've of course got 1 Shooting Quasar Dragon and 1 Shooting Star Dragon. Funny thing about this build is this build can effectively get both of these guys out on normal means, but generally you want to go into Quasar first, and if their opponent still somehow wipes them off the field, you still have Shooting Star to go into for 3300 beat stick. And then to round out the extra deck, we've got First of the Dragons himself. This card is fantastic, especially against monster effect heavy builds. Most noticeably against Necros of all decks, since most of their destruction and play with combos all revolve around monster effects. This just stonewalls all of that, and unless you have those specific cards ready to go to clear them off the field, he is going to be an extremely difficult force to deal with for the entire game. And with that, that's my Plant Quasar Synchro build. Hope you enjoyed the deck profile, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And until next time.